The succession line is typically seen as fixed, yet life's uncertainties underscore the importance of having both an heir and a spare. A backup to the throne and a contingency plan against unforeseen events. Despite established rules, British history reveals a lineage fraught with twists. The divine right of kings fails to shield rulers from the vagaries of fate, including war, illness, conspiracy, and scandal. Here are 5 spares that weren't born to rule, but were destined to reign. King George VI, originally known as Prince Albert Frederick Arthur George, was not destined to be king. Born on December 14, 1895, he was the second son of King George V and Queen Mary. His elder brother, Edward, Prince of Wales, was the heir apparent to the throne. Albert, known as Bertie within the family, grew up in the shadow of his charismatic and popular older brother. He faced numerous challenges throughout his life, including a debilitating stammer that affected his confidence and public speaking abilities.
The Queen and I are very happy to be in Scotland once more. We shall see today the completion of a great scheme whose inception we saw when we were last in Glasgow 10 months ago.
However, the trajectory of Albert's life changed dramatically with the abdication crisis of 1936. Following the death of their father, George V, in January 1936, Edward ascended to the throne as King Edward VIII. Edward's reign was short-lived, as he decided to marry Wallis Simpson, an American divorcee, which was deemed unacceptable by the government and the Church of England. Unable to reconcile his desire to marry Simpson with his duties as king, Edward abdicated the throne on December 11, 1936, after ruling for less than a year. With Edward's abdication, the crown passed to his younger brother Albert, who reluctantly became King George VI. George VI's unexpected accession to the throne placed him in a position he had never anticipated or prepared for. Despite his initial reluctance and self-doubt, he dedicated himself wholeheartedly to his role as monarch, supported by his wife, Queen Elizabeth, formerly known as Lady Elizabeth Bowes-Lyon, and his daughters, Princess Elizabeth and Princess Margaret. His reign was faced with World War II challenges and the subsequent Reconstruction period, as well as the decline of the British Empire. Despite his struggles with health and the demands of his position, he endeared himself to the British people through his humility, sense of duty, and unwavering commitment to serving his country. King George VI's reign came to an end with his death on February 6, 1952, but his legacy as a reluctant monarch who rose to the occasion in a time of crisis endures. His daughter, Princess Elizabeth, succeeded him as Queen Elizabeth II, continuing the line of succession and ushering in a new era for the British monarchy. King George V, originally named George Frederick Ernest Albert, was born on June 3, 1865, the second son of King Edward VII and Queen Alexandra. At the time of his birth, his elder brother, Prince Albert Victor, Duke of Clarence and Avondale, was the heir apparent to the throne. Unfortunately, Prince Albert Victor's life was tragically cut short when he died of pneumonia at the age of 28 in 1892. This unexpected event dramatically altered the line of succession, propelling George up the ranks to become the new heir apparent. George V's ascension to the position of heir apparent was met with mixed emotions. On one hand, it brought him closer to the throne and increased his prospects for a future as king. On the other hand, it thrust him into the spotlight and subjected him to the intense scrutiny and responsibilities that came with his new status. In his lifetime, George diligently prepared for his eventual role as monarch, serving in the Royal Navy and undertaking numerous royal duties and engagements both at home and abroad. He married Princess Mary of Teck, later Queen Mary, in 1893, cementing alliances within European royalty and securing his position within the royal family. Following the death of his father, King Edward VII, on May 6, 1910, George ascended to the throne as king. His reign was marked by significant historical events, including World War I, the decline of European monarchies, and the rise of social and political changes at home. Despite the challenges he faced, George V proved to be a steadfast and dutiful monarch, earning the respect and admiration of his subjects. He navigated the turbulent waters of the early 20th century with a sense of duty and commitment to his country, leaving behind a legacy of stability and continuity during a period of great upheaval. King George V's reign came to an end with his death on January 20, 1936, but his impact on the British monarchy and his role as a spare heir who rose to become king serve as a testament to his resilience and dedication to his royal duties. Queen Victoria's journey to becoming heir to the British throne was shaped by a series of unexpected events and family dynamics. Born on May 24, 1819, Princess Alexandrina Victoria of Kent was the daughter of Prince Edward, Duke of Kent, and Princess Victoria of Saxe-Coburg-Saalfeld. Victoria's early years were overshadowed by family turmoil and tragedy. Her father died when she was just 8 months old, leaving her as the heir presumptive to the throne. However, her uncle, King William IV, had no legitimate children of his own, making Victoria the next in line to succeed him. In 1837, King William IV passed away, and at the age of 18, Victoria ascended to the throne as Queen of the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Ireland. Her reign, which lasted over 6 decades, became known as the Victorian era, a period marked by industrial, cultural, and political transformation. Despite Victoria's unexpected ascent to the throne, she embraced her role as monarch with determination and dedication. All through her reign, she navigated the complexities of governing a rapidly changing empire, overseeing reforms and advancements in areas such as education, healthcare, and women's rights. Victoria's reign also saw significant expansion of the British Empire, with territories across Africa, Asia, and the Pacific coming under British control. Her marriage to Prince Albert of Saxe-Coburg and Gotha further solidified alliances within European royalty and brought stability to her personal life. Although her path to becoming heir and eventually queen was marked by tragedy and uncertainty, she emerged as one of the most influential monarchs in British history, leaving behind a lasting legacy of progress, stability, and cultural refinement. Edward II, born on April 25, 1284, was the 4th son of King Edward I of England and his first wife, Eleanor of Castile. As the son of a reigning monarch, Edward was born into a world of privilege and power. However, his position in the line of succession was initially far from assured. With 3 older brothers, John, Henry, and Alfonso, he was not initially considered the heir apparent to the throne. Tragically, Edward's eldest brother John died in childhood, followed by Alfonso, who passed away at the age of 10 in 1284. These untimely deaths dramatically altered the succession, elevating Edward's status within the royal family. Despite these losses, Edward's position as the heir to the throne remained precarious. His remaining older brother Henry was still ahead of him in the line of succession, and it was not until his unexpected death in 1299 that Edward became the new heir apparent. With the death of his father, King Edward I, in 1307, Edward ascended to the throne at the age of 23, becoming King of England. His reign was marked by controversy, conflict, and ultimately his own deposition and death. Edward II's tumultuous reign, characterized by his relationship with Piers Gaveston, the Despencer family, and the baronial opposition, ultimately led to his downfall. He was deposed by his wife, Queen Isabella, and her ally, Roger Mortimer, in 1327, and subsequently imprisoned and executed. Despite his initial status as the spare heir, Edward II's reign had a profound impact on English history, shaping the course of politics, society, and monarchy in the medieval period. His complex legacy continues to be a subject of debate and analysis among historians to this day. Henry VIII, born on June 28, 1491, was the second son of King Henry VII and Elizabeth of York. His older brother Arthur, Prince of Wales, was initially designated as the heir to the throne. However, Arthur's premature death at the age of 15 in 1502 dramatically altered the course of Henry's life. With Arthur's passing, Henry became the new heir apparent, positioned to inherit the crown upon his father's death. Upon the death of King Henry VII in 1509, Henry VIII ascended to the throne at the age of 17, beginning a reign that would profoundly shape English history. His early years as king were marked by optimism and enthusiasm, as he sought to establish himself as a powerful and influential ruler. Henry's reign was characterized by a series of dramatic events, including his 6 marriages, the English Reformation, and the dissolution of the monasteries. He famously broke with the Catholic Church over his desire to annul his marriage to Catherine of Aragon and Mary Anne Boleyn, leading to the establishment of the Church of England and the English Reformation. Henry VIII's reign pursued policies aimed at consolidating his power and asserting England's independence from foreign influence. He embarked on military campaigns in France and Scotland, sought to expand England's influence abroad, and implemented sweeping reforms in areas such as law, government, and administration. Regardless of his initial status as the spare heir, Henry's reign was characterized by ambition, controversy, and transformation. His legacy as one of England's most consequential monarchs endures, shaped by his complex personality, his dramatic personal life, and his enduring impact on the course of English history. Henry I's journey to becoming the heir to the English throne was shaped by a series of complex political maneuvers and family dynamics. Born in 1068, Henry was the youngest son of William the Conqueror and Matilda of Flanders, and he was originally not expected to inherit the throne. His older brothers, Robert Curthose and William Rufus, were both favored for the succession ahead of him. Robert was the eldest and initially designated as heir to their father's lands in Normandy, while William Rufus succeeded their father as King of England after William the Conqueror's death in 1087. 13 years later, Henry's fortunes changed dramatically with the unexpected death of William Rufus in a suspicious hunting accident. With William Rufus's sudden demise, he seized the opportunity to claim the throne of England for himself, racing to Winchester to secure the royal treasury and support from key nobles. Henry's decisive actions paid off, and he was crowned King of England on August 5, 1100. His reign was characterized by efforts to consolidate royal authority, maintain peace within the realm, and establish a system of royal justice. Despite his initial status as the spare heir, his reign proved to be consequential for England. He enacted legal reforms, including the issuing of the Charter of Liberties, considered a precursor to the Magna Carta, and he also sought to strengthen the monarchy's control over the nobility and clergy. Henry I's reign was not without challenges, including conflicts with his brother Robert over control of Normandy and the succession crisis that ensued upon Henry's death in 1135. However, his ability to assert his authority and maintain stability within the realm earned him a place in history as one of England's more effective medieval monarchs.